and gentlemen. Welcome to the 7-Figure Fashion Business Podcast,
where we talk about the fashion industry and how to get your fashion business to 7 figures.
From manufacturing strategies, cut and sew designers, to fashion hot topics and the latest fashion trends, I'm your host, Monica Monique.
And I'm your host, XYZeee. And let's jump into today's episode.
What's up, world?
Hi. Good morning / afternoon.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time you listen.
I wasn't say good night. How's life?
The same old still.
Well, that's good, because life was good last time, so.
Still studio, being consistent with the studio every day.
Yeah.
This week, I didn't go to the studio because I was going off of everybody else's schedule, helping everybody else. Mm-hmm. So this was like, I mean, it wasn't a week. It was like 2 days I didn't go to the studio.
Okay.
But I still don't like that.
Yeah.
I guess because this was like the first week in a long time that I wasn't really consistent, but it was because other people. It was somebody's birthday, and then somebody had went away and asked me for my help. My grandma asked me to go to market for her. It was just little things.
Yeah.
So I put other people's like to-do list before mine, and I just felt like that wasn't fair. So I'm a little.
You said no though.
Like for the like I'll set boundaries for a little bit, and then be like, oh, okay, I got it for one time. But no, that's how I'm starting off my Monday. I woke up today like, no, do not do that again. Stick to what you've been going for, and everything. But the highlight of my week was everything that I've been working on, like putting everything together, and then it was my friend's birthday, and she decided she didn't do, and she decided that she didn't want to do anything, and then at the last minute she wanted to do something. Well, her family took her on a trip, and she needed like looks. And I put together like everything I had in the studio, and she tried it on, and that was the highlight of my week, because when models try things or customers try things on, it just looks so much better than the mannequin.
Yeah. Did you record it?
No. I recorded like 3 videos, but even with that, she just moved into her place, so it was a lot of paint in the background. Ladders, chairs, and stuff.
Yeah.
So the videos that I did have, like they're just for me. Like it wasn't to post. But when she gets back from her trip, we was gonna make this TikTok. It's like an idea that I had. It's gonna be her, and she's gonna do like a voiceover. Like, my crazy friend came over my house, and like it's gonna be something like that.
Yeah.
But that was the highlight of my week. It was like 8 different looks, and she loved all of them.
Okay.
Good. She couldn't even pick which one she wanted.
And it was all your creations, your collection?
Yes, my ideas. Wasn't inspired by another designer. Just ideas that I had, and I just like, well, let me try it. Yeah. They're not finished. You know how you start a design and you just start it, but it's like, okay. So it's a process when you're designing. Yeah. So it's like, okay, so I need to go back to the fabric store, get this. I need to do this. So nothing was actually finished, but she's seen a vision and everything.
But so she didn't take it on the trip? Okay.
No. Her mom is 70 years old. So she was like, I'm actually not going to take none of these on a trip because none of these is appropriate for being around my mom. And they're not done. So it still wasn't enough time. Just, and I've been watching a lot of church. All I do is watch church. You know how you listen to podcasts? All I do is watch church lives, and been reading my Bible and just trying to avoid negativity so much. Yeah. I feel like I'm the only one that's changing, and everybody around me is just...
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
around you and try to get positive people around you.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked for me. I'm just like, if y'all ain't positive, I guess I'm gonna have nobody around me because I ain't finding no new friends. I just have I don't be outside. Like, and then it's just like the new friends that I have tried to make this past year and the year before, they turned out to be still like negative, gossipy, like the shade room.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I can't hang around you either. Okay, next. So I'm supposed to continue looking. I just be so annoyed. I'm like, I'm fine by myself.
Yeah.
With my
That
little.
been my weekend. That been my weekend too.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like, okay. And then I catch myself like, oh shoot, I'm gossiping.
Yeah.
I am gossiping right now. I'm tired of it. I just don't want it
Yeah.
around me.
Yeah. It is what it is. I feel like all I do is listen to business books, audiobooks, and business podcasts.
Yes.
Like, I surround myself with rich, positive friends. It just so happens that those rich, positive friends are podcasters who don't
Which
know.
is good. Which is thank God that we have these platforms now.
Mm-hmm.
Because before, back in the day, they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, books was always there,
yeah.
but yeah, it's easier to digest when you can see like the videos or listen to the conversations, etc.
hmm
Yeah.
My algorithm has changed too. Even like my YouTube suggestions and stuff. Usually it was like music videos, gossip podcasts. It was the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just church and motivational speakers and credit. I've been watching a lot of credit and finance videos.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so much positive stuff on my news feed now. I'm like, oh wow, I am changing.
Right.
Like I don't feel like I am, but looking at like little stuff, it's like okay, I'm
Yeah.
done. How was your weekend? Weekend.
I mean, I think my week overall was good. Mostly work. Work has been beautiful. Honestly, it's so crazy because when I question certain things and certain decisions that I make, right?
Mhm.
Is this the right decision? I'm not sure if this is the right decision. Like to get rid of a friend, to get rid of a employee, to get rid of a car or any situation. I'm always like anxious. Like, is this the right decision? And usually when I make that decision that I'm anxious about, immediately after I get blessed with more.
Mhm.
10 times more. Like something similar to that happened this week where I let somebody go and beautiful person, love them to death. I just think they weren't a great fit for my business. It was what it was. Love them to death. But I was so nervous about that decision, questioning that decision, but in my heart I knew something's not right here. It's not gonna work if our business relationship continues like this. Whatever. So the following days, I just kept getting more and more business. Like to me, like beautiful customers coming in, new relationships being formed, conversations happening in the store, just like things coming my way that did not happen the prior week. And not to say like it's immediately directly related to this person, like it's not. But I do always look at that as a sign of when I question, is this the right decision to let go of this person or to get rid of this company or to let go of this thing? I always think it's a sign when the following days you get blessed with unconventional things or things you weren't expecting. I think that's a sign that you made the right decision.
Mhm.
That's pretty much how like the latter end of my week went. Saturday, I had this lady come in for a fitting. Well, number one, Saturday morning, so many walking customers that bought so much stuff off the rack outside, off the like racks inside, accessories, whatever. Even that bumblebee, you know that bumblebee corset I've had in store for a while? Customer came in with like, wow, this is gorgeous. Did you design this? Oh my God, I love this idea. I love the dripping honey, like whatever. And immediately bought it, no questions
Mhm.
about how much it was. Because it was just stuff like that. Like, I don't.
Mhm.
And then another customer who booked for a gala in late October. That dress was maybe like 1,400. Just immediately deposit done.
Mhm.
Percent down. And then she brought other people with her to get pieces made. So it was just, and then like the conversation that her and her friends had in the store that I was having with them, it was just so nice. It was like a good time. So I was like, wow, I think this is good, you know?
It sounds good.
Yeah. So that was really good. Other than that, my Sunday was cool. I went downtown, went by the art museum. I was gonna go for a run, but my legs said no. And I went just walked up the art museum steps. And then you know how when you at the top of the art museum steps you just see the view of Philadelphia like straight down the parkway?
Mhm.
I just decided to walk down the parkway all the way down to Center City and just like go for a nice. It was beautiful weather on Sunday, so for a nice long walk and just like think about life and listen to my audiobook. It was just nice and peaceful. I need peace, child. It was peace.
Seriously.
It was peaceful. I had asked my nieces if they wanted to go with me. They said they don't believe in exercise, so
That's what they said.
yeah. My older niece, she was like,
She just said, I don't believe in it. Or is that just what you summed up?
no, that's what she said. And I was like, so are you going to be like morbidly obese when you grow up? And she was like, yeah, I'm just so tired. I'm like, every time, I'm like, don't you want to see nature, the sun, the beautiful city? And she was like, I just want to lay in bed. I'm like, oh my God, okay.
Oh my god.
But that's every weekend. Like, girl, get out the house.
So my mom went away and I've been babysitting my little sister
Mm-hmm.
for the past couple of days. And she lays in bed on her phone all day. And I am like I'm like, what did you just do for the past hours? Like you don't wanna learn something, like you should study something, like you should really like read a book, like everything that you wanna do. Like this is the perfect time, this is the time right now.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying a lot of stuff, but I was just like, you shouldn't just sit on your phone. Then she was on the phone with her friend hung up and she was like, I don't know what to do for like 2 hours. I'm like, oh my God. Then she was on the phone with her friend all night and then woke up in the morning getting ready for school, still on the phone with her friend.
Yep.
I was just done because no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. I haven't gone over there in a long time because I go to the studio and come home.
Mm-hmm.
But I do need to start spending more time with her just to distract her from that phone. It's against these things.
Yeah.
And
That's
speaking of exercise, I've been in the gym.
mm-hmm.
Um, and I feel good. So
Yeah.
people, it's hard at first, but like once you really like get into the habit of it,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like a relief. It's a stress relief.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get back into the habit of it. Honestly, lately, I've been loving going out walking and doing stuff outside more than going to the gym. Um, and I think with the apartment, I'm gonna start doing the YouTube more, exercises more, just so I can get like a routine that I kind of like for the gym.
Hmm.
I just wanna. I haven't been feeling the gym specifically. I've been feeling more like outside, working out, walking, being in nature, and then
Hmm.
like yoga class, spin class. But that was that. Should we get into our fashion topic?
Yes.
Shall we? So we saw did we see a clip first of this?
Yeah.
How did we find this video?
We seen it on Instagram, of course, which
Mm.
was interesting because we love fashion topics, fashion
Mhm.
talks. There should be more fashion talks.
There should be more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just us.
No, I mean I think there should be with a different group of people.
Oh, yeah. So, Springhill has a show. It's called Recipe for Change.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a show where a bunch of influencers, celebrities, come together at a table and eat dinner together, but it's different celebrities from different industries, and they talk about topics from their industry. So for this episode of Recipe for Change, it was 5 different people from the fashion industry that talked about fashion topics.
Yeah, it's more specifically black people from the fashion industry because there were no other races there.
Oh, it was Law Roach. He's a fashion stylist. Ade Samuel, she's a stylist. Jessica Rich, she's a shoe designer. Asia Milia Ware, she's a journalist. And Sergio Hudson, he's a designer.
Mm-hmm.
They,
I thought there's no other fashion designer. He was the only fashion designer, Sergio.
yeah, he was the only fashion designer.
Oh, okay. I mean, okay, so overall, so the conversation was led by Aurora James. Aurora James is a shoe designer who came up with the 15% pledge company during the pandemic in 2020. Now, the 15% pledge company is a company that tries to get 15% of black owned businesses in retail stores like Macy's, Target, etc. The company's whole model was there's 15% African Americans or black people in America. So why don't the companies have 15% representation of their brands in stores? So what she was noticing was in stores, most of the companies are white or other owned up to, let's say, 93%. So they would have only 77% or less black brand owners in their on their retail shelves. So Macy's, Target, Niche, Nordstrom, Saks Fifth, whatever. So during the pandemic, she would go to these different companies and ask them to sign a 15% pledge to have 15% of their businesses, of their brands that they sell, be black owned companies.
Mm.
So that is why I think this conversation was led by her, is because she is pro black businesses.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how did you feel about the conversation overall?
Overall, I feel like it was a 2-person conversation and not a 6 or 7. Because I feel like it was 6 or 7 people at the table overall.
Mm-hmm.
The conversation between Law Roach and Sergio was nice. And I think if it was just those 2 people sitting at the table, I would have enjoyed the conversation. But because there were 5 black women being ignored and talked over, it was distracting for me to enjoy the conversation.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like, well, why do they keep answering the questions when there's other people sitting here?
Mm-hmm.
Every question that was asked, the same 2 people answered and spoke back to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like the women at the table had to push themselves in the conversation to get a word or a statement, and it did not seem equally spread out between the people sitting at the table. And I feel like as the only 2 men in the fashion industry at the table, why were they not being more gentlemanlike and allowing the women to speak? Now, it could have been editing.
I was about to
Maybe
say, what if it was edited?
it could have been editing. Maybe they just edited the conversation
It
to
didn't seem like it was edited.
it didn't seem like it was. But I'm just like, hello, is Jessica Rich going to say? I didn't hear Jessica Rich say nothing to the very end. The shoe designer, I didn't even know she was there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ade Samuels, you said that's the other stylist. I felt like she rarely spoke up. And I just think it's because the 2 men were having a conversation back and forth amongst themselves.
Maybe because they were the most popular, and
That doesn't mean anything.
maybe the producers know that people wanted to hear what they had to say over the other girls.
I think the
I mean,
conversation
I doubt it. What's the point of inviting everybody on the show?
that
But yes, they talked a lot.
that part. I mean, if I timed how much time the two guys spoke compared to the women, I'm pretty sure it would be like 80% to 20%.
Jessica Rich, Jessica Rich actually spoke, and then he cut her off.
Yeah, immediately.
She didn't even get to. She did. Law Roach cut her off. She didn't even get to finish whatever she was talking about.
He cut her off with a compliment to her and her brand, but still let her speak.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't spoken. Let her speak. Why you didn't? You could have saved that till the end. And
Mm-hmm.
he cut it off. He cut her off. He went on and like let the child speak.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Aurora James didn't speak much. Maybe
Yeah, she
I don't know
spoke
why.
the most out of all the women.
Oh, you said she spoke the most.
Out of all the women.
Well, yeah, but I don't think any of the women really spoke much. I
I
don't know.
didn't know Asia Amelia was a journalist, was a fashion journalist. You would have thought she would have had a lot to say.
Yeah, she probably did, and didn't get a chance to say it. It would have been nice to hear her opinion on a lot of the topics. Like, so let's just talk about the topics.
The topics. One of the topics was racism in the fashion world. We kind of touched on it. You kind
Yeah,
of brought it up for a little bit, but
yeah. Sergio had mentioned having like the number one social media engagement and brand, but still having to move his spot during New York Fashion Week for a white designer that was more well known.
mm-hmm.
Like let's say he had a prime 8 p.m. Saturday night spot, but another older, more established white designer had wanted that spot, so they just gave it to him.
Are you surprised?
I'm trying to think, am I surprised? No, because the people who own the companies are older. Like, isn't it Anna Wintour or like the people who are in charge of New York Fashion Week and Vogue and all these things? They are people in their 60s and 70s who have been around in the fashion industry for a long time. They're probably friends with whoever this other person was.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph Lauren. Even if Ralph Lauren doesn't have the same social media engagement as Sergio, he's still Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
I can see them moving the spot. Is it right?
Yeah.
Maybe not. But if he asks for it, I can see them doing that.
When he talked about it, I thought of it. I wasn't surprised. I just thought of it as it's a business world.
Mm.
So it's New York Fashion Week. New York Fashion Week is crazy. People, that was an important time slot. Of course, somebody bigger than you came into that.
I mean, is it racism? Is it favoritism? I think
I
it's
was about to say it was probably favoritism,
it could be
probably
both. Could be, but
probably strategic.
I could only say that it was racism if like a black person of that same age and length in the industry had also asked and then they gave it to the white person. So
I think it was seniority.
I think it was seniority. I don't even know who the person is though. That's the thing. It could have been somebody young. Maybe it wasn't seniority. Maybe it was literally equal to equal, and that's why he said it's race. So again, maybe
Right.
the other person really was,
Hmm.
but I'm sure racism exists.
Another racist event that they brought up. Law Roach brought up how he told his manager that he was no longer dressing black girls.
So Law Roach has a manager?
Didn't he say his manager? He said I told my team or something that like don't send me black girls.
Having a manager, having a team is different. Team is people under him. A manager is somebody over him.
I think he said manager.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah. So when he pointed that out, what he said was he feels like he got further along and more established and more recognition when he dressed white women, white actresses, models, whoever, people, than when he dressed black actresses. Like his name got said more in rooms that he wasn't in, or he just got more publicity and more shine from dressing white women than black women. So he kind of felt like, well, what's the point of dressing all these black women if nobody cares about black women? I feel like that is the point. to Caring is good about black women. Isn't your mom black? You saying nobody should care about her? If
He
give
said he's sorry. He said he regretted that.
Oh, he did. He say he regretted it.
Yes, he said before he shared the story, he was like,
He
I
said he
hate.
regretted feeling like that. He didn't say he regretted that.
He said he was sorry and he hate himself for doing it.
I might have to run that playback because what I thought I heard was he regrets feeling like that. And regret
Mm-hmm.
feeling like that is different than you regret that decision.
I swear he was like, every time I shared the story, he said that he went from making $10,000 each black person that he styled to when he started styling the white
Women.
artists, actresses, he made $700
Mm-hmm.
a piece, a look, versus he was making $10,000 with black music artists, black actresses.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting.
He said it actually hurt his pockets to choose white women over black women. That's how you know it's not a good decision. Remember what I was saying earlier? It's how
But
it's the right decision, you get blessed.
yeah,
Hello.
but not but that was back in the day.
It was
Back in the day, I feel like was just grimier. Just
that was last week. I don't think it was back in the day.
you they've been in the game for very long. They was like one of the first black people in the fashion,
Who?
successful,
Who? Law Roach?
and Sergio. They've been in
No.
the fashion industry for a long time.
No, they have not. No, they have not. It's
Since
been
when? When
like
did they come?
10 years. 10 years is not that long
That's long.
to you. Oh,
Yes, to
oh,
me.
okay. To you, that is long. That is not long. 20.
Sergio was longer than that because I remember when I was younger, he was on the Rihanna. He was on Rihanna's fashion show, fashion contest show, and I was like
That show was also not that long ago.
13. I was like 13 years old.
Let me look this up.
That was a long time ago. That's how I found out about him. But
Really?
even back then, it wasn't. They was like one of the first. They're old.
Let me see. Let me look up his age.
Who you looking up, Sergio?
I'm looking up what's Sergio age.
Law Roach is 46 years old.
What?
Yes.
Sergio Hudson is around 38. It's nothing that says his real age, you know?
That's weird.
He said he was born in the mid 1980s.
His age isn't on Google. Everybody's age is on Google.
Mm.
I can.
He has a wife and kids. I'm lost in the sauce now. Who else now? He has a wife and kids, apparently.
I'm not surprised that they experience racism in the fashion world, but I guess I never thought about it until they brought it up, because I guess I'm not that far yet to even experience that.
Right.
But it's definitely something to think about. I liked how they made a point about there not being any luxury black brands. We have great black designers, black brands, but we don't have a luxury black brand. I wonder what's going to be the first luxury black brand.
Um.
You don't think so? You don't think there's going to be a luxury black brand?
Well, I think the reason why we have white owned, and not even white, Italian and French owned luxury brands is because they did not experience slavery and all of this resurgence of what your country is. They had years, decades, centuries to expand on brands. America has always been in distress. to Especially black people. Black people are just now really getting started. And
Yeah.
just now, I mean, like in the 1900s, 1940, 50, 60, black people were finally free enough to come out with brands and have their name and label on something. It just hasn't been enough time to pass to call a brand luxury brand and have that same type of history that these Italians and French and or Parisian companies have had. We haven't had hundreds of years. Hermes got started in what, 18 something? Louis Vuitton, 18, like the oldest brands got started in the 1800s. Black people just got free in America in the late 1800s, and slavery ended somewhere in the mid 1900s of it not being officially legal in every state across America. So we haven't even had 100 years of pure freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So let alone for generations and generations to take over a brand and revamp it and do all the things with somebody's last name, which is not even our last name. It's their last name.
Mm-hmm.
In Africa, I wonder, are there luxury brands that have lasted hundreds of years with the same African last name?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just know of the African prints and the fabrics.
Yeah.
But are there brands that have lasted that long in
I
Africa?
don't think I even see. When I think of African fashion, I think of them making all of their clothes. Honestly,
But not a brand.
not a brand.
Because they have had freedom in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they also kind of been going through this stress all the time. And by
Mm-hmm.
all, I mean like every decade,
Mm-hmm.
a different country has something impactful that destroys everything in that country. We can't catch a break.
I wonder. I wonder who's going to be the first luxury brand. Do you think it's going to be Telfar?
I
I
was
mean,
gonna,
first black.
say maybe Telfar because he thinks out the
Yeah.
box. I think he thinks like a luxury brand. He's positioning himself to be a luxury brand.
Positioning.
Hmm.
I said positioning.
Hmm. I think Laquan Smith wants it. I think Sergio Hudson wants it. I think there are brands that came even before them that probably deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really seen it.
Time. Time.
Because it has to go through several hands and several generations for it to be known as a luxury brand like these other ones are.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of a young luxury brand, I think of Kate Spade. But is Kate Spade luxury? Kate Spade started in the 90s, didn't it? When did Ralph Lauren start? I feel like Ralph Lauren is a young brand too. Let me see.
What? I feel like there are so maybe because they dress for it. They make clothes for
Well, I know Ralph's still alive. That's why I'm like, it can't be that old.
it.
When did Ralph Lauren start? 1967 it was founded. So that
Oh,
I think is a young brand.
yeah.
Because I consider Ralph Lauren somewhat of a luxury brand. Somewhat.
Yes, Ralph Lauren Purple Label.
You're saying yes? But Ralph Lauren is affordable, right?
Ralph Lauren Purple Label.
Purple label, okay.
That's when it's like, you don't remember? Oh my God, Ralph Lauren was a time.
Not was, still
It
is.
still is, but the purple label, like you had on Ralph Lauren art, but you bought like the purple label Ralph Lauren shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That was like $700 a shirt for the same shirt, but it's just the purple one.
Yeah.
That's their luxury. That was their luxury.
What's another brand that we consider luxury? That is young, I'm wondering. I wouldn't consider Calvin Klein necessarily luxury, but let me look up when that started. Calvin Klein history.
I
Uh,
want a luxury brand.
so Ralph Lauren started in 1967. Calvin Klein started in 1968.
Oh, wow. So they always was going. They always was probably going back and forth. We gotta go get the tea.
But where are the black labels? Let me see. Black luxury designers.
I wonder what pops up.
Top 20. Number one, Telfar. Telfar just started. Telfar is so new. Brother Velas, Wiles Bonner, Laquan Smith is number four.
Okay.
Pierre Moss. Okay, Pierre Moss is on there. Heron Preston, Ashia, Bianca Saunders, Fear of God. What number is that? Like 10? Fear of God, number 10. Off
Okay.
Off White is number 11. A Cold Wall. Brandon Blackwood, number 13.
Okay.
Christopher John Rogers.
We had Virgil and Pharrell
Yeah, but next one.
designed for. I mean, it doesn't count, but they collabed with luxury brands, black designers.
Aurora James is number what? 16? The
Oh,
host
okay.
of that episode. So she's number 16, and Faye Noel is number 18. Faye Noel, I love their brand. Hanifa is number 20. I also love Hanifa.
Okay.
But most of these brands started in the last 10 years. 10 years, maybe 20. I'll give them 20, but not, 1967.
You know what I want to study? I should have said this earlier when I was talking about my week. But one thing I observed about someone is I think that this has nothing to do with the episode. I'm just saying it while it just popped up in my head.
Okay.
I want to study. One thing I observed about somebody is you could be like such a great person, you could be a good person, but somebody won't give you a chance because of your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to study people that are like that.
Okay. You want to study why people are like that?
Yeah, the psychology of why people care about what you wear, or people care about what you have on, or when you do dress up, why do people treat you different? And when you dress like a hobo, why do people treat you different? When the person that's dressing $1,000,000 can really be a bad person, and the hobo can really be a good person. Like, what's the psychology about it? Or
Um,
what's a good outfit that somebody will just treat you normal,
Jeans and a clean shirt.
and you'll be accepted in both.
I think jeans and a clean shirt. I'm
Hmm.
looking at the comments. I remember you said you wanted to go through the comments of that video.
Yeah,
First comment that I see. I saw Law Roach and I clicked. That was it.
I'm about to go to it too.
Sergio and Law is keeping it real and love it. But
I've seen it.
you see how already they're only talking about the two men because that's the only people who I feel like mostly spoke. I really enjoyed this dialogue. Only thing I feel is missing from the discussion is the small clip moments they are discussing. I'd like to see an image of what they're talking about.
Oh, so maybe what they promoted was different and not on this episode?
No, she's saying like in conversation they bring up, oh, well, this happened in the show of 2018
Oh,
or
yeah.
when I addressed this person in 2020, they're saying it would have been nice for y'all to include photos of what they were talking about so you could see when Law Roach talked about dressing Zendaya for whatever, they wanted them to put up a picture on the side of what Zendaya wore.
Yeah, and they said, y'all are wrong for not including photos of these
That's
specific moments
it.
everyone is bringing up. Huh?
That's this needed to be longer. Powerful convo, law, which is Law Roach. Because he was mostly talking.
Side note, it was nice that Chef H was invited to the table, but it felt odd having him sit there not participating in the discussion. He was the chef. It's called Recipe for Change. It just went with it was uncomfortable, but
It was
he
uncomfortable.
didn't have to sit at the table.
It was uncomfortable. I agree. He should not have been at the table. And for y'all who have not seen this, it's an Asian guy who was the chef talking, sitting at the table, listening to the black fashion designers complain about the industry and what it's like being black in this industry. And it felt uncomfortable for them to say our race started the culture, our race started everything that's popular everywhere. Like we are the vibe, we are this, black people are this. And here's this Asian person sitting there like, yep, y'all are everything.
Hmm.
And not that that makes it any less true. I just felt like it was uncomfortable with him sitting there. Yeah.
Powerful combo.
This person said, wish y'all would have had a black chef serve for this particular episode. Agree. If y'all was going to have a chef sit at the table, why not pick a black chef for that episode?
Wait, is this the same? Is this the same chef for every episode though?
And that I don't know.
Yeah, because we don't know that one episode. Everybody wants a longer version.
I'm really surprised that nobody is bringing up how the two men mostly talk the whole time and not the women. I don't see any comments saying, I wish I would have let the women speak more. Because maybe I should comment that. Because I wish I would have heard from the women sitting at the table, not only what it's like to be black in the industry, but to be a black woman in the industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a good opinion to hear, but I did not get to hear it.
Yeah. I'm seeing the same comments over and over. Sergio is so intelligent.
While nobody is saying, oh, the two men talked over the women, everybody in the comments are either talking about what Law Roach said or what Sergio said.
Mm-hmm.
Which to me proves the same point.
I don't see anyone else's name in these comments.
Literally.
Yep. That's it. Did you know that this show is produced by LeBron James?
Mm-mm.
LeBron James and Merrick Carter.
Yes. So overall, what's your final opinion?
My final opinion is tea. I guess that's the fashion tea. I mean, it was good to hear about things that go on in the fashion world. Things that I actually didn't think of, but I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely was tired of the two people back and forth conversation. Wanted the women to speak more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they was overpowering the table, but just in the comments, they're the fan favorites. So producers probably did that to get the views.
Right. It's possible.
What else did
I think it was a good idea of a conversation, and I think maybe they even chose the right people for it. I just wish that I would have heard everybody's opinion and just the two guys overall. I want to hear more people talk about not just situational racism in the fashion industry. I want the whole picture. Like just how like a lot of people were saying a longer episode. I think a more detailed so maybe like who was the other person or what was their history, just diving a little bit deeper into these individual experiences and also other experiences too, like good things that have happened and etc. But it's a conversation I'm glad they got started. Overall, it was a good episode to watch. So just want more.
I think that that back then they had to like really try to get their foot in the door. Versus like now with social media, we can really build up our brand with our marketing and our own influencers, followers now. So it was good to hear. I mean, yeah, it was good to like hear it from their perspective because it was in the industry like when it wasn't really like opportunity.
Yeah, agreed. All right, well, let's end it here.
Count your blessings.
Before you count your money.
Bye, guys.